ability to stay together and thrive defines a successful species. Yet we frequently forget this fundamental truth. What is it about social cohesion, that sense of belonging, that keeps communities together? What is it that tears us apart, alienates groups from each other, and even turns people violently against one another? If social cohesion binds people together, then how does combustion pull people apart? What are the tensions between social cohesion and combustion today? The answers appear all around us. For Bill De La Rosa, they were deeply hidden between the cracks of the Berlin Wall. At one point, a terrifying symbol of control and forced cohesion. Now, there before him, in fragments of combustion, the wall was powerless.
For 28 years, the wall segregated Berlin, partitioned the West from the East, and more importantly, divided humanity. Standing where it once stood, I imagined all the pain and suffering the Berlin Wall was responsible for. The lack of freedom, the violence, the separation of families. And as quickly as it came tumbling down, one night in November 1989, witnessing what remained of it, I couldn't stop thinking then about how swiftly other walls went up. We have constructed more walls, physical and metaphorical, to split each other apart. Walls that separated food from the hungry, immigrants from their families, and people from their rights.
The subjects of social cohesion and combustion are multifaceted, often eliciting more questions than answers. So we gathered a diverse range of leaders from Germany and the United States to share their views during a 2-day virtual conference. They had one task: probe the contemporary tensions between social cohesion and combustion. Bill was there, relating his own personal story to the issues that were raised during the encounter.
I was born in a small American town in Arizona to 2 Mexican immigrants, Arsenio and Gloria. When I was 15, refusing to live in fear any longer, my mother applied for a green card to become a legal permanent resident. During the process, however, she was torn apart from her family and barred from re-entering the United States. I remember that phone call as if it was yesterday. My mother was crying, and through her tears, she told me she couldn't come home for 10 years. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't reconcile how the law could separate someone, the wife of a U.S. citizen and the mother of 4 U.S. citizens, from her home and family. My mom was not a criminal. Distressed, I researched immigration, first on my spare time and then in college. I soon learned that my family's story was not unique. It was a feature of U.S. immigration law. The separation of families was an everyday experience in America.
The Social Cohesion and Combustion Conference offered Bill the opportunity to explore issues of perilous contagion, racial unrest, economic instability, transatlantic vulnerability, and the ever greater need and determination to realize social justice. It was a chance to discuss the most critical issues we face as we travel along the rough and convoluted highways of democracy.
We can achieve change through democracy.
Correct, but our current institutions suppress the voices of systematically marginalized groups.
Not only in the US, but also in Germany.
We therefore must challenge existing institutions and practices while increasing voter participation.
How do we challenge institutions in our countries to serve a strong democracy?
We must challenge the status quo through the power of nonviolence. We must strengthen the case for nonviolent civic action. Violence can be counterproductive, but it often receives more attention.
How do we make nonviolent resistance more effective?
We must mentor the next generation of change agents. We must teach them the lessons we've learned and guide them on their journey.
And we must instill in them the importance of social cohesion. Social cohesion is necessary for democracy, but also its greatest challenge.
How do we work towards social cohesion?
To build social cohesion, we must bring people together who would otherwise not meet. We need to tear down the invisible walls that divide us. This can lead to understanding and build trust.
From various backgrounds, the German and American participants shared a profound purpose to break down the walls of division. Walls against marginalized groups. Walls of systemic racism. Walls of oppression, power, and violence. Walls that form bubbles of beliefs, othering, and exclusion. Walls that separate families, like Bill's.
I left the forum knowing I'm not alone in this fight and how to be a leader for positive change. It is about confronting the past with the present, about humanity and the global struggle for human rights, and about tearing down the physical, racial, social, and other invisible walls that tear us apart. It is about using nonviolence to effect change. It is about redistributing power placed in institutions from the top down to communities. It is about strong leadership committed to racial equity. It is about the peaceful transfer of power and resources. Despite the hardships I've witnessed, I remain hopeful. Hopeful for a future where walls don't divide us, where families are not separated, and human rights are protected. I am ready for the next step. My life's work has just begun. We can do it working together, as we did for a few days this past fall.